back. Hi.
Hello.
Right.
Oh,
No cameras tonight because I've ate too much. Sammy's feeling ill, so you have our profile pictures.
yes. My pairs are in a very important meeting.
So,
Uh, well, today's episode is going to be based upon kind of the supernatural and the occult. So I'm expecting to be talking about ghosts, demons, witches, possessions, all that kind of fun stuff.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so, funnily enough, the first so-called horror film, it's only a 3-minute one. You can find it quite easily on Wikipedia. It's called The Haunted Castle. It's a French film dated 1896, so it's very old,
Yeah. I like
to
100
say the
and, what,
least.
130?
Yeah.
Damn.
There's a part of it where there's a train kind of heading towards the camera, and supposedly that's why it was named as a horror film because nobody had ever seen anything like that before. Um, they also used really good camera tricks to kind of fool the audience, like creating things that weren't there, which is pretty cool for that old of a film. So it's quite interesting to watch.
I'll need to check it out. Because
I found it quite funny that it just so happened to be supposedly a ghost film.
yeah, amazing how that's worked out, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, excuse me.
but yeah, ghost films, they're pretty much the staple of the horror genre. I mean, yeah, obviously you've got your big hitters like your slashers and things like that, but ghosts, demons, possessions, that is it's the bread and butter of the horror.
Yeah. And it goes back dating centuries to otherworldly beings. You know, they weren't particularly called ghosts, maybe they were called apparitions or visions or whatever, but it goes back a very, very, very long time. Like, even like past biblical times, way before then. The stories from famous people in ancient Greek times, you know?
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy like how far back the idea of ghosts and things really does go.
Yeah, it does seem to be like the original horror genre. It's not just ghosts, but demons, demonic possession. Because if you think about it logically, right, demons and demonic possession, it's demons are fallen angels, so it kind of goes back to biblical times. Behave, or this is what's going to happen to your soul in eternal damnation. So it kind of makes sense that it is the original horror trope.
Yeah. I mean demons of course are named. They're named in the Bible,
Yeah,
of course. Any good Christian knows, or any good Catholic actually would know that Satan is the biggest demon, obviously.
yeah. Who was a fallen angel? He was the right hand of God's favourite son, and so beautiful in creation. But he decided that he didn't like God's plan, and then became the first. Not the first demon when you think about it, because obviously you've got Lilith, who was the mother of demons.
Mm.
like Adam's first wife. Um, and it goes all the way back, but it goes back before that as well, because even the ancient Egyptians, they had their gods and their pharaohs, but they also had like their anti-gods. Same with the Greeks and the Romans. I mean, they had their gods, but they had their titans, who were, by no stretch of the imagination, demons.
Yeah. So it makes sense that throughout the ages, as far back as it goes and to the current day, we still have the ghost story.
Yeah. Now,
And I was going to say that most people, maybe it's just the weird people, but I would say most people that I know have had at least one experience themselves that makes them kind of believe that there's something.
yeah. Oh, no, definitely. Even if it's not something that they automatically explain as being supernatural or paranormal, it is something that they can't explain that other people will class as being paranormal.
Yeah.
And there are so many documented cases throughout history that it makes you think, hold on a second, if all these people are saying the same thing, maybe there is some truth to it.
Mm. Oh, excuse me.
And of course, there are a lot of movies that are based on real life. I mean, sure, after the original movie, it kind of went ridiculous. But Amityville,
Based
that
on
was
a
originally based
true story.
on true story. Um, there's one called The Haunting, which came out in the mid-90s. And it's actually one of my favourite ghost stories. Similar story, young family, move into a house, get haunted. And again, that is based on a true story. And then you've got the Conjurings.
Yeah. Is it the Warren
That's
family?
the Warrens, yes.
Yeah.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, who have now both since passed away. But, oh, my delivery's here. Give me 2 seconds, I'm sorry. You keep talking about the Warrens.
I don't know what to say. The Warrens are reasonably famous family. Did a lot of supernatural, going to visit houses and things like that. If you're familiar with the Conjuring films, then you'd have heard the name before. Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But yeah, the Warrens, they worked with the Catholic Church. They were ordained to perform exorcisms, and they owned a museum of possessed artifacts.
Yeah.
Um,
Notably, actually, funnily enough, notably famous for Annabelle,
yeah,
having the Annabelle doll. Amityville, they're involved in, and the Enfield poltergeist, which is a British, which was
yeah.
here.
The Enfield
Yeah,
one was pretty something else. But yeah, as you said, the Annabelle, they were the owners of the Annabelle doll because they were the curators of the museum. And fun fact, that delightful little Raggedy Ann doll went missing last year.
was it ever found actually? Oh yeah, it was. Somebody bought
Yeah,
it.
it was
It was
eventually
that.
found, but yeah, she got out. That was not in anyone's bingo card for 2025. But yay, go us.
He actually has become the legal guardian of the entire haunted collection, it says.
Yeah, that's not weird at all.
I'd do it if I had the money.
Oh yeah, if I had the money, I would definitely. I mean, that dog would never see the light of day again. But I have got a fear of dolls, so I get away with that one.
Not quite.
That would be chained in a box and dumped at the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean. Or I would make friends with Elon Musk just to send it into space.
Not making friends with that man, but, you know.
I will make friends with a Russian. Okay? I will go to China. I will find someone to shoot that thing into space. Okay? That doll is not right. That should not be allowed to continue existing.
True.
That thing should be sent into the sun and vaporised. All the other curiosities that they've got, brilliant, fantastic, let me at them. That doll, no, send it into the sun. Don't care.
Now, a few episodes ago, we were talking about horror icons, and we very, 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 very briefly touched upon Shakespeare being a very large writer that included a lot of horror in his stories, I guess, in his scripts.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that quite a lot of his writings, you have witches. You've got like the ghosts, because I mean, I think it's Macbeth sees the ghosts of people that his wife has killed, or is it Hamlet?
Both. They've both got ghosts, both Macbeth and Hamlet. And then you've got you've got the witches who are something else entirely. So it makes you think, was Shakespeare crazy? Or did he actually have experience with the paranormal? Because there's no way he could come up with all of that on his own, in my opinion. Yeah. But again, that's what this show is, this opinion. So I do think he was haunted.
I mean, we'll never know for sure, but it is kind of strange. A lot of his scripts had some sort of supernatural being in it.
Yeah.
Even to like fairies in some of them.
Yeah.
And then we have the original goth boy, Edgar Allan Poe, obviously.
Yeah, and we know he was haunted.
You know? I would definitely say he is the original goth boy.
Oh, he is most definitely the original goth boy. There is no polite way of putting that, okay? You don't sugarcoat that. That is what it is. That's a fact.
I mean,
he is the OG.
But I don't know if I'd say it's a haunting, more of a curse, I guess. But obviously, the fall of the House of Usher, I would say it's more of a curse. But
yeah,
if you know the story, like death kind of follows this family.
Didn't we talk about that last week?
Yeah. It's based on my story and my life.
Yeah, that's kind of my story as well, to be fair. But yeah, so again, he definitely goes down the same trope of bringing the paranormal to light.
Yeah. Again, you've got books like The Hound of the Baskervilles, which of course has like a kind of ghostly dog.
Yep.
And that's very old, 1902.
I actually haven't read that since I was a teenager. I might need to get myself another copy. Yeah. I got rid of a lot of my books when I was younger. So, leave the cat. Sorry, my dog's trying to eat my cat. He's not trying to eat her, he just wants to play.
Oh, excuse me.
Because he's only a puppy. He's only a baby and he's not getting his proper walks right now, so he's full of energy. He's not getting his proper walks because we're in the middle of a storm up here and it's been bad. It's not that we're neglecting him, he's a spoiled shit. He physically can't get for his walks because he's still lead training. And he's outgrew his raincoat and we live in the ocean. Literally, the ocean is in my back garden right now.
Makes sense.
I'm just glad the roof's fixed. Oh. But yeah, there's... I mean, the paranormal, whether it's ghosts or demons, demonic possession, it goes all the way back, and it... Obviously, in movies it's a big thing. In writing and storytelling in general, it's a big thing. But it's been going back from the dawn of time. Every civilization in the known world have got their own ghost stories and their own demon stories, whether they're called demons or whatever they are to that particular civilization. Going, like I said, all the way back to the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans, the ancient Mesopotamians, as you said earlier. Even before biblical times, now they are in biblical times, we know this, but even before, it was still such a big part of storytelling and culture.
Guess it's that kind of morbid curiosity that we as humans all have, is like, what happens after death?
Yeah, what comes next?
What comes next? So the idea of, well, here's the answer, it has to be ghosts.
Yeah. I mean, is it? We don't know. We've got no way of knowing. But I think that's what it does come down to, because every civilization, every religion, every person has got an idea of what comes after. And that shared belief throughout a civilization, whether it be modern or ancient, gets put into stories. And that's where these come from. So if you're a good person, you could come back as a ghost. If you're not, and just keep an eye on things. If you're not a good person, you're coming back as a poltergeist, or you're coming back as a demon. Or if you're not a good person and you're still alive, you can be taken by a demon. You know, it's... And there is just so much source material out there for it that it is unreal.
Yeah.
And sorry, my delivery arrived, so I now have a Red Bull. Go me, woo!
But let's talk about some of the films that have kind of made this particular genre like quite popular, quite big. And I want to start off with a fairly obvious one being The Exorcist.
Yep.
More so about the possession of the little girl.
Yeah.
And I mean, this film is incredibly groundbreaking for what it was.
Yeah, it was classed as one of the original video nasties.
It was.
So to speak, to the point that for 25 years in this country it was banned. You could not own this movie.
And
they banned it.
Having watched it, I kind of get it.
I can understand why when it was made it was such a big deal, but I also remember I was in high school when the ban got lifted. And my friend Alicia, she managed to get a copy. She secured a copy. Because obviously our parents had seen it at the cinema before it got banned. So her parents got a copy, she got a copy. And we went to her big old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere and we watched this movie. And all I can remember thinking at the time was, yeah, that's a good movie, but why was that banned? And obviously, as I've got older and I've started to understand more, for its time, yeah, I totally understand why it got banned. I mean, some of those scenes.
I mean, the little girl is in bed
Yep,
screaming, "Fuck me,"
yep. And
with a
your mother sucks
crucifix.
that in hell. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I totally understand why that was banned.
yeah,
I didn't at the time, obviously, when it was reintroduced to mainstream. I'm watching it and I'm thinking, that's not that bad. But by modern standards, no, it's not. But in the mid 70s, that was bad.
yeah. I personally will never watch this film ever again. I have watched it, I've watched it multiple times, but specifically the last time I watched it, I was at my friend's house. We had a sleepover. We watched it with her grandma. We went to bed. We woke up in the morning. Grandma wasn't with us anymore.
Oh.
So I'm not saying it was the film. However, it's gonna make me not want to watch the
Yeah,
film.
it'll make you associate the film with that happening.
I
So,
wish
yeah.
that this was a joke. Like, genuinely, I wish that this was the thing that it's like, oh, God, no, that can't have happened. Come on, you're making this up. I'm not making this up. This genuinely happened.
I know your life. I believe that without a doubt.
It was
Okay?
terrifying. Like, I was just immediately told, you need to go home. And then, like, I was told, obviously, like, the day after or whatever, yeah, this is what's happened.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
like,
no,
right.
I do totally believe that. I mean, had it happened to anyone other than you and me, no, I would doubt it.
Yeah.
But our lives, yeah, that happens. It's like, yay.
So, personally, it's not because I'm scared of the film, but I am a little bit.
Mm.
So I wouldn't watch it again.
It's like you're scared to watch it just in case it happens again with
Just in
someone else.
case, you just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I would be the same.
And it is a supposedly haunted film.
Yeah, because people died. I mean, that's right up there with the original Poltergeist movie.
Poltergeist, I
People
was just thinking.
died.
Yeah.
And the little girl that played Carol Ann later died.
She died young as a kid as well.
Yeah, she was really young. It was not long after the third movie came out. But again, it's the same as the Amityville movies. People died during it. Now, people die making movies all the time, right? Sometimes it makes the news, sometimes it doesn't. Obviously, we had a big thing last year where there was another Brandon Lee incident and the wrong gun was used and someone died. That makes the news. But if there's like an accident or something on a mainstream movie, it doesn't make news. But if it's a movie like that,
It kind of adds to it, doesn't it?
yeah, it is
Yeah.
making the news. It is making you want to go and see the movie. It's like, oh, 18 people died making this movie. We need to go see it.
Yeah, I mean, I recently rewatched The Crow, funnily enough, before I did the musical episode,
Mm.
and I was like, is this the bit? Because I was always told it was one bit. I was always told it was later on, but it's not, it's sooner when it
Yeah,
happens.
it's a lot sooner. It's when it's when he's confronting the little girl's mother and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's the boyfriend. And he still, I believe he's actually passed away now, but he never saw the full movie. He refused to watch it.
Yeah,
He
and I
couldn't
can,
do it. And
I can
I
understand it.
understand it. But yeah, I was always led to believe that it was during the Tony Todd scene where he's on the table.
That's what I was always told.
But it's not. It's actually a lot sooner than that. And it's
Yeah.
when and I love being able to say Tony Todd because he just keeps appearing in the most random movies. But it was a lot sooner, and it was in the motel above the bar with Darla and our junkie boyfriend.
Yeah.
and the
So it does
guns
add
get
this, like,
switched.
I mean, for that, I'll watch it because it's a good film, but you also have the story behind it of like, this is the bit where where he genuinely gets shot and dies.
Yeah,
So when it's connected to a horror film, you are, like you say, more likely to watch it because you
yeah,
want to know, like, well, what happened?
yeah. What caused all these people to die? And it I'm like I said, it happens in a lot of movies, but it's just if they're mainstream movies, no one cares. It's not that no one cares. It's just it's not publicised
Yeah,
because it's just people die at work all the time. But when it is something like The Exorcist, like The Crow, like something that's supposed to scare you, and then these people have dropped dead during it, it makes you stop and think,
exactly. Um,
yeah,
we mentioned The Exorcist and Poltergeist. I mean, for what they were, they both, like we said, they're both supposedly haunted films. People did genuinely die during the production of it and things like that. But like, let's talk about some others. I mean, the Jesus Christ, the genre is that big. Where
yeah.
do we begin?
So I love the whole haunted family aspect. That was something that was my mum's favourite genre, and that's I got that for her. So I love that where family move into a house, they're haunted by what's now residing in that house because of what's happened there, and I love that particular genre. I loved it with um. I loved it with the original Amityville and the remake with Ryan Reynolds. I loved it with Poltergeist, although it was done slightly different. The Haunting, which I did actually stream a few years back on my own channel because I happened to be doing ghosts that particular like real life ghost stories, so I streamed that. And I actually believe it and the Amityville came out around the same time, but The Haunting was more made for TV.
Yeah.
So that kind of genre of ghost story appeals to me. But I do love a good possession story.
The possession films for me they're not my favourite. There's some notable ones that are good, but I think they all went the same route
Yeah,
at some point or another.
yeah. But it's I also like now it's been done in a few TV shows, the haunting like haunted house type thing. It was done on The Haunting of Hill House in Bly Manor. And they were two bloody good TV shows. I thoroughly enjoyed them.
Really good. I really
It
enjoyed them.
it did take me a couple of attempts to get past the first couple of episodes of the
Oh my god,
original.
the broken neck lady,
Yeah,
Jesus.
it took me a wee while to get into that show, right? It, I had to go a couple of times before I could actually sit and watch it because it was just, I don't know what it was, it took me a while. But once I got into it, and then the original American Horror Story, Murder House.
I love Murder House.
Oh, Murder House was the best season. And I still sit and watch through it, and then I'll do like the witches, and then it all ties back to Murder House and all the rest of it. And I genuinely do love that side of it, but it's been done. And every time you get a haunted house story, it is slightly different. But possession seems to happen the same way. But there's just that many different ghost stories out there whether it's written or it's in film, that you can't help but just have a favourite ghost story, like movie or whatever.
I mean, we'll get to it later on, but 3 of my favourite films of all time happen to be ghost films.
Yeah. And I mean, the best opening ever in a movie, ever, is a ghost
It's a ghost
story.
film.
Yeah, it's literally in the title.
It's so good.
It's such a good film. Kind of want to watch it
Cinematic.
again.
10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the movie itself is fantastic, but that opening scene alone is just... It's top tier. It's like S+.
Uncomparable.
Yeah, you can't. Even the Blood Rave cannot compare to that scene.
Yeah. I mean, for me, looking back, we've got so many, like you say, there's so many, like, ghost kind of related films, some of which we know because they've been remade. 13 Ghosts, of course, the original.
House and Haunted Hill
the
is
60s,
another
House
one.
and Haunted Hill, of course, being from the 50s. I don't know if The Fog was ever remade, actually. I was going to say The Fog, but I think I'm getting it mixed up with The Mist.
You're getting them mixed up with the Mist.
Yeah. So these films, like, super... I've never actually seen the original 13 Ghosts.
I have, but it was a very long time ago. It was around the same time as I watched the original House and Haunted Hill and Bucket of Blood. Man, that's an old movie. But I mean, they are really good movies. The only difference is with the original House and Haunted Hill, as opposed to the new one with Ali Larter from Final Destination, no one dies in the original. It's all a big joke. It's a fun dinner party game where they think people have died, but they haven't actually. Unlike in the new one where all but 2 die.
Yeah.
Gruesomely as well.
The good thing, well, I guess it's a good thing, is about ghosts in particular, you can kind of go towards different audiences. So we have things like Casper for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and Ghostbusters,
Yep.
and Ghost, of course, for the
For the romantics.
romance,
Yep.
the romantics. So I kind of like that they don't have to be particularly scary or anything like that. I like that it can be so wide and so popular.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go, they can be comedic, child friendly, like you said, Ghost, where it's all about the romance. Or you could be scare the crap out of you.
Yeah.
And there's not many other stories that, like genres that can do that, to be fair.
No, I agree. Because there's just something about, like, a zombie's probably not gonna really exist.
No.
And a vampire's not gonna come knocking at your door. And werewolves aren't out there or whatever, but there's something about ghosts and demons where you're like, yeah, but they could possibly. And that's what kind of makes you scared about it more.
Yeah, it's like, well, this has been documented throughout the ages, and no one can actually disprove it. Can you disprove vampires exist? Yes. What about zombies? Yes. Werewolves? Apart from that one case in Germany? Yes. But ghosts, it's not like you can prove either way. And to an extent, it's the same with demons, because not everyone's religious, but in religious circles, people believe in demons.
Mm.
Who are we to say that they're not wrong? Or they might be right. We don't know. We have got no definitive proof either way. Whether you believe them or not, they believe it. And
Yeah.
that belief came from somewhere along the centuries, millennia. So, do we know if it's real or not? We've got no way of finding out.
Yeah.
Until it's too late to come back and tell anyone. So I think there is that air of mystery, the could it not be real thing that does appeal to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, it's not like aliens. You know, it's like, oh, aliens are going to come down and disintegrate us all. No, that's not going to happen, because if aliens were real, they had the capabilities of coming to our planet, they are way too advanced to be caring about us.
Yeah.
They're going to keep on going, so that's not going to happen. Our dead body's going to regenerate unless you put a bullet through their brain? No, in the grand scheme of things, probably not. No. Is Dracula's 2,000-year-old self kicking about out there? Nope, can't see that being a possibility. Because after so many years, his body would disintegrate. Same with zombies. Once they've been dead for a while, muscle atrophy and all the rest of it settles in, and they shrivel up and they can't come back. So,
Yeah.
but with ghosts, there's been that many reportings, and I mean, even the Vatican believes in ghosts and demons, so they have their own exorcist teams.
This is true.
You know, so maybe there is some truth to it, and I think that's what makes it scarier than any other genre. Because if you're watching a werewolf, like, rip a village apart, you know it's not going to happen. But if you move into a creepy old house and it starts talking to you, there is every possibility that either you need to lay off the psychotropics, or ghosts and demons are real. Probably lay off the drugs first, though, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, you never know. Either that or get onto drugs, just in case. But if the drugs aren't the answer or the problem, then maybe you do need to call on the Vatican. I would say the Warrens, but they're both dead.
I would say Sam and Dean, but they're also both dead.
Yeah, a lot.
Sorry. Scooby-Doo.
I would say,
Scooby-Doo.
yeah, I'm not going to say no to that, as long as it's Matthew Lillard version.
It should well be.
Yes, that is the only version that is acceptable.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, sorry, I'm not well.
Now, I've kind of got the sniffles myself, to be fair. But worse things have happened, so I'll get over it. Why do I feel like I've got a cat? I don't have a cat in my head. I felt like I had a cat in my head there, but I don't. But no, I mean, it's not just that. With ghosts, there is so much scope for backstory.
Yeah, definitely. I actually quite like I don't know if you've seen it. You should see it. The BBC series Ghosts.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
Funnily enough, it has the exact same cast as Horrible Histories. So if you like Horrible Histories, you'll really like BBC Ghosts.
I love
It's
Horrible
really
Histories. That is brilliant.
And you have like all of these different ghosts from different parts of history, including a Neanderthal ghost, which you've probably never seen ever. I mean, I've watched a lot of films and a lot of TV shows, and I've never seen a ghost portrayed in a Neanderthal way.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that. What I want to know is, right, here, and this is an honest question. Why, if you're walking through a 17th century German castle and talking to a ghost, why do you always assume that they speak English? And why do they always answer in English?
That's a good question.
Because let's be real, these ghosts that lived hundreds of years ago in a different country probably never even heard English being spoken.
It's true.
So why are they now, once they're dead, speaking English? Because English isn't even the most popular language on the planet. If it
Yeah,
was
they'd be
going
more
by
like
that, they would all be
Chinese.
speaking. Yeah, they'll all be speaking Mandarin,
Yeah.
but they're not. They're all roaming around their ancient castles, being dead for 700 years, speaking English. That does not make
Yeah, it
sense.
does cast doubt upon the people who supposedly talk to ghosts.
Yeah, it does. It
I'm
does
not
make
going
you
to doubt that
question.
if you're down the pub that's 400 years old down in Stratford upon Avon, if you said to me, yeah, I did speak to a drunk guy who was the ghost of this pub, I'd probably believe you.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
would believe
sense.
that. But I'm not going to believe that some dead, 500-year dead French aristocrat is suddenly speaking English.
Yeah.
I'm not believing that.
I would like to visit some notoriously haunted towns though. Like, for me, one of the biggest go-sees is to go to like New Orleans, like Louisiana. Like, if you're gonna go
Oh, the
somewhere that's
French
haunted,
Quarter.
it's gonna be the South of
Yeah,
America.
yeah.
Like, they're definitely haunted.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, you've got the
Those
whole
colonial
Civil War.
houses in the South, in the South parts of America, are haunted by slaves.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'd love to go somewhere like that. It's on the list.
Oh,
When America's free again, it's on the list.
that's what I was going to say. As soon as America's free, we can go. Land of the free and home of the brave, my ass. But we'll make it
Until it's
there.
free, I'm not visiting. But it's on
Mm.
the list. Because a girl needs to eventually go to Salem as well.
Yes, Salem is high on the
I
list
can't
for
live
the
my life and
minute.
not go to the
The minute it is safe for people like us to travel to
when
that
it's safe.
country.
And
We're
I've
not
travelled
very
to
safe
third
there right
world
now.
countries. I've travelled like through land barriers and speech barriers and language barriers even, and I've travelled a lot, but
Yeah,
I'm not going back to America until it's free.
yeah.
Sorry, that's my rant.
Yeah, but it's not safe for people like us.
It's not, but
We're
it's on the list.
alternative. We're not straight. We've got mouths on us. That is not safe for us. We would get shot or thrown in jail.
Yeah, but when it's free,
Once it's free again, we shall do
that's
it.
where I'm going.
Mm.
I mean, we're older, obviously, than America. Like, our local pub is older than America, let's be real.
Yeah, my local pub's older than America.
I mean,
Most of
we've
our
got
chappies.
places here. We're going to one of the towns already that's probably haunted.
Oh yeah,
And there's been more time. I've been to Stratford upon Avon. Like, there's definitely ghosts in Stratford
yeah.
upon Avon. So we have our haunted towns. They just don't have that name kind of notoriously behind them as
No,
much.
it's one of those. The locals know they're haunted.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the lights of Salem, and you know Salem's haunted with all those. I've not even
100%.
got my camera on, so I was gonna do the air quotes there, but it doesn't. It doesn't
All the
count.
witches.
But all the dead witches.
Mm.
Um,
And if some of those witches were real,
yeah, if some of
then
those witches were
those
practicing Wiccans, then that place is definitely haunted.
place is definitely haunted.
Yeah. But there are so many places like that in America that we know about because they're in America.
Mm.
They've got the history. But like you said, we've got chippies in our country that are more that are older than
Literally.
Australia. Australia. America.
Yeah. It's
I
just,
mean, let's be real, the local corner shop could be probably older than America.
yeah.
Um,
And he's probably had the same guy that works there the whole time.
yeah, more than likely.
Unlikely.
And I think it's great because up here, they sound the exact same as me.
That's weird to think about.
That is really weird. It's a bit of a culture shock that when you go into a shop and start talking to somebody who you don't think is going to have the same accent as you. All right, wee woman, how's it going? And then hi. Bowl of buckfast and 20 smokes, please. You don't expect it, and it is a bit of a culture shock, but about here, nobody cares. That's just Davey for the local shop. You know that's not his name, yeah, but I can't pronounce his name. And he answers to Davy because no one can pronounce his name. But he sounds like a Davy and he answers to Davy, so.
Oh my god.
And if you need a loaf of bread 2 days before Pi Day, go on and speak to Davy and he'll help you out. It's hilarious, but the amount of ghost stories coming out of a relatively new country, that makes you, it does make you question how many freaking people have been brutally murdered there for there to be that many ghosts in one town.
Well, it's got the highest murder rates in the world.
Yeah, and when they do things like that, they don't do it by halves. So they don't just do one or two at a time. No, they wipe out entire towns.
Yeah. Oh. It's probably best we don't talk about America because we'll probably lose some viewership, but, you know.
I think even America at this point is saying the exact same thing, to be fair. But yeah, no, I get it. So, favourite ghost movies?
Okay. Favourite ghost films? Like I said, 3 of my all-time favourite films happen to be ghost films, which is 1408, which is based upon one of Stephen King's short stories.
Yep.
Um, Fantastic film. Has 2 different endings. I prefer one of the endings, but Brad prefers the other ending. I'm not gonna say the endings just in case you've not seen it, but
No, I don't think I have seen 1408, to be fair.
1408 is really good, and I guess it is a ghost film. The hotel room that he goes to is haunted itself. The room, it's an evil fucking room.
Mm.
To directly quote Samuel L. Jackson, who happens to be in the film. So it's a haunted room. You see a couple of ghosts here and there, but it's the room itself, and I kind of like that. It's kind of cheeky in the way it's done as well, because it's 1408, which 1408 adds up to 13. It's supposed to be on the 13th floor, but of course it isn't because it's an American hotel. So although it would be the 13th floor, it's actually the 14th floor. So it's kind of cheeky in the way that it's presented, but it's Stephen King, so what do you
Oh,
expect?
it's also loosely based on a true story.
It is, funnily enough. Now, it wouldn't be this exact hotel that he goes to, the Dolphin, which is what it's called, but it is based upon the hotel. I
Del
think it's
Colorado.
is it the same one that I'm thinking about? So it's the one where the girl was found in the water tank.
It's
That's
based,
the haunted
yep,
hotel.
it's based on the investigation of room 3327 at the Hotel Del Coronado.
Because this one that I'm thinking of, let me see, Cecil Hotel.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
It's in LA.
yeah, no,
I
different
think
story.
it's been called a different thing.
Yeah.
But that one is actually a notoriously haunted hotel. If you actually go down a really long rabbit hole of research into the hotel, you find out that quite a lot of serial killers stayed there during the time, including Richard Ramirez stayed there. There's a lot of history at that hotel where they've had to rename it 100 times. They've had different owners and
Yep.
all of that. And I guess with the Dolphin in 1408, it's very similar to that hotel where the owners always change and no, you can't
Yep.
stay in this room and stuff like that. It
Well,
is.
the original story for where 1408 came from was room 3327, but it started off as 307 or 3312, and it was Kate Morgan, a guest who died from gunshot in 1892. She checked into the hotel on Thanksgiving Day in 1892, waiting for a man who never actually appeared. And 5 days later, she was found dead on the stairs leading to the beach. And apparently, she still haunts the building. So that's what 1408 is based on.
Well, there we go.
But the Hotel Cecil, that there have been so many shows and movies about that because the girl ended up in the water tank, and you see her in the elevator, and it's such a creepy story, and
Oh, creepy.
yeah.
I can't even imagine. Um, but anyway, you've not seen 1408, you have to see 1408. Preferably, if you watch one ending and it's one particular ending, then go on YouTube and watch the second ending and see which one you prefer, because I prefer one, like I said.
Yeah. Oh, I can get it on Prime.
Definitely watch it. Another one of my all-time favourite films is 13 Ghosts. Obviously the remake, because I've never seen the original, so 13 Ghosts. I absolutely love 13 Ghosts.
Oh,
I
that's
love
just
that it
such an
gives us
amazing movie.
some great jokes in it as well. So,
Oh,
hey, did the
yeah.
lawyer split?
Yeah, the lawyer
You've
split.
just seen the lawyer split
Did
in
I
half.
say there was a petting zoo in the basement?
No.
and
I
and
love that film. It's so
And most of
silly.
the one-liners come from Matthew Lillard himself, because he is just a genuinely funny guy, and he delivers them so brilliantly.
Yeah. I love 13 Ghosts. I love the
Mm,
backstories. They're supposed to be doing a Netflix betrayal of it, but I keep seeing it and I've heard about it for like the last 10 years, so God knows
yeah, I
if that'll
don't
ever
know.
happen. But if you have the DVD, which I do somewhere, then they've got all of the backstories on there anyway about all of the 13 Ghosts, so you can learn about them.
Yeah,
Um, my favourites are the Jackal. Obviously, absolutely love the Jackal. I've got pictures of the Jackal.
the
The
Jackal.
Jackal's
I
fucking awesome.
He is terrifying. His backstory is heartbreaking when you properly read into it. Not the fact that he was a psycho killer that ate people. The actual, like, what happened to him and how he ended up becoming one of the 13 is quite heartbreaking when you read into it. Um,
Yeah,
but the amount of depth and detail that went into the stories of, well, technically it's 12 ghosts because the father didn't die.
well, no,
Because he was
because
supposed to be the 13th ghost.
actually, technically, you've got 12 ghosts plus the other two ghosts because
Yep.
the uncle comes
Plus,
back
yep,
and
but
Matthew Lillard comes back.
yep, but you've also got the dire child and the great mother, who are two separate entities but portrayed as one ghost.
No, they're two. They're part of the 12, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're in one part together in the machine.
12, yeah.
Yeah. But
Who else do I like? I forgot what the name was, so I'll have to look it up. The Juggernaut, which is the last one that he catches. I love the Juggernaut,
oh, the
even though
Juggernaut is
he
just,
does break the back of Matthew Lillard, kind of Bane style to Batman. Very
yeah,
much Bane style, actually.
yeah. He is just so brutal.
Yeah,
Eh,
I wouldn't want him in my basement.
Yeah.
And I really like the Hammer as well.
Yep.
And again, I like his backstory. His backstory's really good.
Again, that's quite a
Uh,
sad backstory, though.
it is, but it is a really really good film.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't kind of rate it. Um, I would probably say it is more of a cult following.
Yeah, it did not get the recognition that it deserves, mainstream wise, because it is a remake for a start, right? It is a remake. The cast for the time weren't that big.
No, not really. I mean, this was 2001 that it came out, so
Yeah,
Matthew Lillard, let's be real, became, yes, he was in Hackers and stuff like that in the 90s.
and he
Uh,
done the original Scream, but
he
again,
wasn't massive until Scooby Doo,
exactly.
even if he was already known throughout the horror community as 13 Ghosts, or if you haven't seen 13 Ghosts, like you said, he is in the original Scream film.
Yeah, but
So he had a lot before Scooby
yeah,
Doo,
but
but
he
Scooby Doo
still
really put him in the
wasn't.
mainstream.
Yeah, he for a horror or an indie Stansted, he was a big name because he did do Hackers, and Hackers has got a cult following.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
I would say that's a massive cult film.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts has got cult following status. Scream, that went stratospheric. But until Scooby Doo, he wasn't really mainstream. So the 13 Ghosts, it had, for its time, a B-list cast. Yeah, some of them have went on and done some amazing things since then. But they hadn't at the time.
Yeah,
They were little known or unknown. So it didn't get the recognition it deserved. And it deserved so much recognition because it was brilliantly made.
it is. It is a really good film. Another one of my favourite ghost films. Come on, we all know the answer. It's Ghost Ship.
Yep.
Because Ghost Ship, Ghost Ship, as we said before, has the best opening to any film. Any
Oh,
film.
yeah.
Yes, Final Destination 2 is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And that traumatised an entire generation. Or three.
Yeah, so
But,
that is brilliant. But the beginning of 13 Ghosts, in comparison to the rest of the film, yes, I love this film, right?
you mean Ghost
I
Ship?
really love this film. But you see the beginning of this film, and the rest of the film doesn't quite get there.
Yeah, it
Get to
doesn't
that.
quite hold the same level.
There's
But that
moments in it,
opening. Oh, yeah, there's some fantastic moments in it.
but
The
there's just
lift
something.
shaft.
The lift shaft, yeah, that's the one that I kind of went straight to is the woman.
Yeah, the lift shaft. I mean, that was brilliant. And the ending was brilliant.
I really
And
like the ending.
the twist that you never see coming, and then you realise exactly what's going to happen, and she's strapped to an ambulance gurney. There is not a damn thing she can do. And even if she
Yeah,
did, no one would believe her.
yeah.
Or get that
It,
guy's 300 years old and he's killing people and he's the ferryman and he's got to meet his quota. No one's going to believe that.
sure, honey.
Now, let's just up your meds here, my darling. You've been through something traumatic.
Yeah.
But it's in the swimming pool scene.
Oh yeah, that's also another good one actually.
Yeah, I mean, some of the scenes, again, are absolutely fantastic. And again, it did get cult status following because of that opening scene and because it has got some good scenes. And the cast at the time, were really big names. I mean, I can't think of her name, but the girl at the end that survived, she was an yeah. You've got Gabriel Byrne, who I adore. I love that man.
Desmond Harrington, I love.
Carl Urban, who can't even remember making that movie, but we don't talk
That's
about
actually funny.
that.
That's actually funny, yeah.
That is hilarious that he genuinely, and we were there when he admitted that on stage. He cannot remember
Um,
making that
and
movie.
the funny thing is, when I saw him, because that's one of the very few Q&As that I sat down in and I asked a question at that weekend. I completely forgot he was in Ghost Ship.
Well, he
I
forgot he
genuinely
was in
forgot.
Ghost Ship.
He forgot he was in Ghost Ship. He was in the fucking film.
I know. And he had a brilliant death as well.
Not deserved.
No, definitely not. The other guy, the Australian actor that was in a show, the name escapes me now, but it was a show, Heartbreak High, actually. It was an Australian show back in the 90s. He was in it as well. The guy that got blown up in the boat, the one that stayed behind in the tugboat. So it was a really good cast for its time.
No, it's Santos. Oh.
Yeah. So it was a really good cast for its time. And I mean, I think, and the little girl as well. She's went on to do so much. But that opening scene, that just knocks everything out the water.
It is fantastic.
It's just, that cannot ever be beat.
No, it would take a lot for that to be beat.
I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to top that opening scene.
No.
And like I said, the movie itself is a brilliant movie. But let's be real, even if the movie itself was complete and utter garbage, we would still remember it and we would still be talking about it because of that opening scene.
It is really good. Another film I'll mention is Sinister. Because Sinister terrified the shit out of me when I first watched it. So did Insidious, actually, to be fair. When I first watched Insidious, it terrified me.
Insidious got me. There's one scene in Insidious that... And it wasn't the strung out Darth Maul guy that got me.
So Darth Maul, that was it. That was me. I was pissing myself laughing.
I was gone when we saw that. It was like, it's a heroin addict's interpretation of Darth Maul. This is hilarious. That got me, but there is one scene in that movie that gets me every time. Every time without fail.
Go on.
Life-size, shotgun-wielding porcelain doll.
That's not the scene that got me.
That should not be allowed. That should not be allowed. And I still can't listen to Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
That's fair.
I would rather listen to Shout on repeat.
There's the bit in Insidious where you see the monster like behind or coming out of a wardrobe or something, and he like points. And I don't know why, but like in the bedroom that I was in at the time, we had the wardrobe in the corner of the room. And I was like, oh my god, this is really scary. And I kept looking at the wardrobe the whole time thinking there's a fucking demon in there. But after I saw Darth Maul, I could watch that film 100 times. Like, it doesn't bother me now. But when I first watched it, that scene made me jump for a minute and did genuinely make me want to turn my lights on, which that doesn't happen often.
Yeah, but I mean that Darth Maul that broke me. I was gone.
Yeah, with Sinister, I like the baddie. The baddie's cool. and it's more of the found footage films in that, actually, funnily enough. Like, we find the videotapes in the loft and we start to watch them, and they're really scary.
Yeah.
And once you find out the twist with Sinister, now we all have seen Sinister, and if you've not,
Yep.
I don't know. That so we know the twist is that it's the kids
Yep.
that's doing these things on camera to their families. Like, Sinister 2 has one of the siblings still alive in the video, being like shoveled with snow, I think, on top. So he's freezing to death.
Yeah. It's.
Like, those found footage films get me every time. One in particular is the lawnmower, because you know what's going to happen. You can hear the sound of the lawnmower, you see the family lined up, and then it cuts out. And I
Yeah.
don't know why that got me, it just did.
It's the not knowing. It's
And
like,
it's
you
the
know it's
sound,
coming.
the noises behind it, and the
Yeah.
music that they play during those found footage moments is really like chilling.
Yeah.
So Sinister's fantastic for me.
Yeah, I've got. I'm not gonna lie. I really did enjoy Sinister. It was. I mean, I can't stand anything found footage. I've never had that. It's the whole shaky camera thing. It gives me motion sickness. But when it's not the entire movie, and when it's aspects, I don't mind that as much. There was one that I watched. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was a Nicolas Cage film. And he basically gets hired by this old woman whose husband's died, and he's a PI, and she's found these VHS tapes in this man's, her dead husband's private collection, and she hires Nicolas Cage to investigate them. So we're watching the videos as he's watching them. So it's got the aspects of the found footage. Turns out it was snuff movies, and some of them were fake, not all of them. That's the whole premise of that movie. Funnily enough, it might actually have been named Snuff. I don't know, I can't remember. But it's actually a really good movie. But, so when it's that, like, introduction with minimal found footage, yeah, okay, I can watch that.
Because I did the found footage fucking ages ago now on my birthday. You do also give leeway to Hell House, which
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of also does sort of fall underneath this bracket.
Yeah, Hell House I will watch because I actually like the first two. I didn't
I
mind the
like
third.
one, like three.
Yeah. But
Not
I
super
like,
keen on two.
I can forgive the found footage aspect for Hell House LLC because I enjoyed the movie itself.
It is
But
a
when
great
you've
film.
got the likes of like Blair Witch, which again could actually fall into this category, Cloverfield, and even Paranormal Activity, it's just the whole. At least with Paranormal Activity, it's a standing camera. It's not somebody recording it, so it's not got that shaky aspect. I can't do it. I know that I'm watching somebody holding a camera when I'm watching a movie, but when I'm watching a movie and the movie is someone holding a camera, that's when I can't.
But,
No,
but like you just said with Blair Witch, it was one of the original big witch films of its time,
yeah,
and big found footage films of its time, which I said even when I did the episode, I'm not super keen on found footage, but that film in itself was groundbreaking.
oh, it most definitely was. I don't like the movie. I don't like the genre,
I know it's awful. I
but
prefer the scary movie version of Blair Witch.
yeah, but in all honesty, it was groundbreaking. It was revolutionary. So props where props are due to that. They gave
Absolutely,
us
that's
they
what I
gave us
said.
something that had never been done before, and it paved the way for so many good movies.
Yeah.
And
Which
brilliant spoofs.
films? There's not actually that many witch films that are based around horror. There's
No.
a lot of family friendly ones, like The Witches.
Yeah.
Um,
That is one called Witch that is
yeah,
quite.
it was awful.
That was god awful.
It was awful.
And
I nearly
again,
fell
you've
asleep watching
got
that film.
the American Horror Story. They brought the witches in quite a lot.
Yeah, they did have the whole season of Witches, which it wasn't my favourite series, but it was passable.
See, I loved Coven, and I loved the way that they brought it all back together and tied it in with Murder House. And
Uh,
quite a few of the other seasons as well. So
like Asylum was really good.
I liked Asylum, and I liked the way that they brought Freak Show and Asylum together.
Freak Show, that was it. Yeah, that was
Ah,
really good.
yeah.
Uh, but weirdly enough, there isn't a lot of witch films, and the witch films that do exist, like Witch and Blair Witch, in my opinion, are awful.
I know.
We do, however, have a absolute goth girl classic witch
Oh,
film.
yes. Yes, we do. And we don't talk about the second one, the latest one.
No,
Because even David
but
Duchovny could not save that.
The Craft.
Hell yeah.
Now, for me, there's two original goth films. There's The Crow and there's The Craft.
Yep.
They're both like very centered towards the goth community. Like, there's
Yep.
no doubt in my mind this is who it's for. This is who's watching it. We grew up to become Nancy.
Yep. And
Like,
fun fact, that is the movie where Neve Campbell and Skeet Ulrich met.
yeah, because he's also in The Craft.
Yeah, because Nancy puts him out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, the Craft is a great film. It's not one that I watch a lot. Like, I've probably not rewatched it for a good couple of years now.
I've not rewatched it in a while,
Realistically,
but
not rewatched it for a long time.
it is brilliant.
It's so good. How you have the very dark witch of being Nancy, who you can see the way that she presents herself.
Hmm.
She's the goth girl of the group. It's kind of like Mean Girls in a sense, but they're the
Yeah.
opposite of the Mean Girls.
Yeah,
They're like,
it's like the anti-Mean Girls.
yeah,
And you've got like the dark, the crazy one, and you can tell that
yeah,
she's really the ringleader. And you've got the new girl who is this sweet and mousy girl, but she is like a natural witch as well.
yeah,
And then you've got the other two that are just they're there,
yeah. Weirdly enough,
just like Mean Girls.
yeah,
It was Mean
it
Girls
is
before Mean
totally of the
Girls.
Mean Girls.
And there were goths and witches, and a lot of people died, and no one got hit by a bus.
No one did get hit by a bus. You're right.
Yeah. Although
Uh,
the homeless guy did get hit by the car though, and he died.
yeah,
But no one was hit by a bus. And the Regina Nancy ended up in a loony bin, but you can understand why.
yeah,
But it was something that had the 90s brought us some amazing like goth girl type movies, and it started from The Craft, and I genuinely cannot think of another adult movie about witches that's anywhere close to being as good.
no, there isn't. Because there's not a lot. Weirdly, like I said, there's not a lot of horror based witch films.
Yeah,
And you'd think that they would be.
yeah.
There's some that kind of play with the idea of it witches, um,
But I mean, you
but
would
not
think that
the main
because
story.
of like what happened in Salem and the subsequent witch trials throughout the world,
So much to work with.
yeah, there is so much source material, and I mean, there are still practicing Wiccans. Oh, go away. I'll deal with that. But there is so much source material to work with, but no one's done it.
The newer film Witch was god awful. You've got films. I think it's called I Spit on Your Grave. I don't know whether or not that's a witch film or if I'm getting it confused with something
No,
else.
that is
Yeah.
a witch film. That's a curse. Why won't it let me? Why can't I remove that? Oh, there we go.
No, I
But
don't
no,
actually know.
I Spit in Your Grave was a good movie. I actually really liked it. The that girl get did wrong, but because she got everything right and still ended up dead. But that was a witch. It was a gypsy cross, so that works. That does tie in, and it was actually a really good movie. To be fair.
You know what's a great witch film?
Mm,
Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
yeah, you gotta get
Now
Scooby
I'm
Doo
going to
in.
say this because Tim Curry does the voice of the bad guy,
Mm,
and the Hex Girls are fit as fuck
yeah,
and kind of based on the original three girls from the craft, really.
yep. Also, I want to apologise. My dog is right behind me in his bed snoring.
That's fine. I'm sniffling, so we're all good.
No, he is actually snoring his little head off.
I mean, I love the Scooby Doo films. I don't know whether or not we should do an episode about the Scooby Doo films because it gives me a reason to rewatch them.
Yes, I
I'm
think we
probably
should
biased
because
in this.
it is kids horror, but it's still horror.
They're genuinely good films. Like Zombie
Yeah,
Island, genuinely. I said this in the zombie episode. It is one of my favorite zombie films of all time. It's a
yeah,
Scooby Doo film. I really like Witch's Ghost as
mm,
well. I like Boo School or whatever it was called. Ghoul School, I think it was called
yeah.
actually. Which was the first Scooby Doo film that they did, where Shaggy wears a red shirt instead of green.
That's just
Yeah.
odd.
Like I love the Scooby Doo films, and they
Yeah,
always do. There is a film, no matter what you can think of, they've done a film about it. They've done zombies, they've done vampires, they've done like the ancient gods, they've done wizards, they've done witches, they've done werewolves, they've done everything. And also, they used to be on Cartoon Network all the time, so when you're a kid and you're watching these films growing up, then they kind of stay with you.
yeah.
So, Witch's Ghost, it still counts as a witch film, and
It
it
most
still
definitely
counts as a
does.
good film.
Yeah,
Whether or not you want to say it's a kid's film, I don't care. It's not your show, so it's fine.
exactly.
So, I'm saying Scooby Doo and Witch's Ghost. Great
Yeah.
film. I'm a bit biased.
I mean, we do love our Scooby Doo. Let's be real.
Oh, Scooby Doo and Tim Curry, come on.
Yeah,
It's got everything like hand in hand. It's what you want. Fit girls, Tim Curry, Scooby Doo.
exactly. What more could you want? It's
What
just
more do you want? Exactly.
yeah. Um, but
I would like to see more witch films though, because it just hasn't been.
yeah, it's
They've got so like we said, there's so much source material.
I know.
in America. There's so much that they could do with it, and even if they
Not just
decide
that.
not to do with America, but we've got our own history here
I was going
planted.
to say, in the UK and Ireland, we have got so much source material. And not just that, Scandinavia, right? I know it's not technically horror per se, but there are witches in it, and it is such a good movie. The Northman with
Who's it?
Eric Skarsgård from True Blood.
Well, that
Um,
he is a Norseman, so it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. But yeah, the Northman, and there is a lot of witchcraft because his character, what's her name? Pretty little blonde thing. I can't think of her
Anya
name.
Taylor.
Thank you very much. She is a witch.
She's also the witch in Witch,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely her.
Yeah, that's her. Um, she was also in The Menu.
Great film.
Yep, she has done so much, and she is a really talented actor. I believe she was also in One Night in Soho
Yes.
with
Yes, she was.
Matt Smith, who I just adore, but we'll not go there. But so there is witchcraft is hinted at a lot in movies without being the main focal point. And like I said, The Northman is a prime example of that because the main character, played by Skarsgård, does marry a witch. He also dies rather horribly, and she ends up
Watch
being
it.
a. Yeah, you should watch it. It's actually a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it. But so there is a lot of source material from the UK and Ireland, from Scandinavia, Germany as well. I mean, Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, true.
Now, there have been a few Hansel and Gretel movies coming out.
They've been awful.
They've been god awful, and even Hawkeye couldn't save that.
Excuse me. We're
But
not friends with Hawkeye anymore, I'm just saying.
no, I know. But at the time we were.
Yeah, I was down it were.
Yeah, at the time we were, and even he couldn't save that movie. But so there is some witch movies out there. They're just not very good. Pick up a book, people.
Let's talk about kind of I don't know if you'd class it as demons or if you'd class it as possessions, and I think we had this conversation when we did the zombies as well, because it kind of falls within multiple genres, but Evil Dead,
Mm,
it fits within a lot of different things.
that
You could say it's zombies, you could say it's more zombies in Evil Dead 2 actually, but you know.
even more so in 3. But
Oh god. It's
I like 3. Bill Moseley appeared in that. We all know I've got a soft spot for him.
you do.
Yeah, I really do.
But demons and possession, and we've got the evil book, which obviously it has to be the Necronomicon, because
Yep.
again, he's a legend with himself, the whole Eldritch horror and stuff like that.
Yep. I mean,
I'm too stupid to read it because the words don't calculate in my head, but I know of it.
yeah, I mean, the book itself came from the deepest, darkest pits of hell. So, that would say demon. I still maintain it's not strictly zombie because the demonites, I mean, it's in the name, demonites. But the demonites can change form to look like they're still alive. And they are conscious and they can walk and talk, and I mean, you could sit and have a conversation with one of them. To me, that negates the whole zombie vibe. They are dead, they come back to life, which is a typical zombie, so there's that argument. But to me, it doesn't scream zombie. It's more possession, in my opinion. Possession and demons.
I would definitely say the same. Actually, there is zombies in it,
Yeah,
um, but it is
especially
more
when you
deep.
go more towards the second and then third.
Yeah, the first original isn't zombie-esque.
No, that's all demon all day long.
The second one is a bit silly.
The second
The
one's
third one is a
hilarious.
bit silly. There's silly films, the trilogy, but the first one, they try not to make it as silly. They
Yeah,
try to make a serious horror film.
yeah, and then his own hand tried to kill him in the second one, and the walls started laughing and bleeding. So it kind of took it a
Yeah.
bit far. And then don't even get me started with the time traveling in the third one with the boomstick and the falling from the sky.
Oh, Evil Dead has had loads of like remakes. It had its own TV show.
Yep.
Um, I loved the Evil Dead remake when it came out in
Oh, that was brilliant.
2013.
I
I
loved that
absolutely loved that.
they didn't try and remake it the way a lot of
Yeah,
remakes are made. They're like, right, we know that the original is a cheesy 80s horror. We love it for that. That is a Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell masterpiece. We're going to switch it up and we're going to make a serious horror.
I really loved that remake.
I loved
It's
it.
probably up there with my favourite remake films.
Yeah,
I love the ending, and every time I think of the ending, I don't know why they didn't get Slayer's Raining Blood for that
yeah,
part.
I know.
Because every time I think of that part of the film, that song is just blasting
Yeah.
instantly in my head.
But the remake was absolutely fantastic, right? As a movie, the way they did it, the way they respected the original and changed it enough so that they're two completely separate movies.
Yeah,
I mean, the sister survives and Ash dies for the love of God, you know. So
it's
it is.
such a good film.
Yeah, and then you've got the newer ones that are coming out that are directly connected to the original trilogy.
I loved Evil Dead Rise, yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. And you've got a new one coming out, but they're not off. You would think they were connected to the remake, but they're not. They're based off the original 80s trilogy.
Mm,
It's just that they're serious horrors, but they are now part of fodder. And I love that. And then you've got the
yeah.
TV show.
And then you've got the TV show.
Ash
People
versus the
really
Evil
like it.
Dead. I loved that TV show and I would have loved to have got more of that TV show, but the way they ended it was fantastic as well.
That's good.
I think they could have got more out of it. I would have liked them to have got more out of it, but it didn't leave us on a well, I mean, it did leave us on a cliffhanger, but it was an ending cliffhanger. It wasn't a Santa Clarita Diet cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I'm still pissed at Netflix over. Okay? That was the worst cliffhanger ever and we needed another season.
Crying, my name is Earl, bitch.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, my name is Errol we never found out who Errol Jr.'s dad was. We found out who Dodge's dad was.
Yep.
We never did find out. Yeah.
Sad times.
Yeah.
Evil Dead Rise also gave us, like, the cheese grater moment.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't cringe a lot. It's very few and far between. Hostel, when he cuts the back of the Achilles heel, that gets me.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
when
watch
Gage does that in Pet Cemetery, that gets me.
that. Scenes where there's needles going in eyes. Nah.
Anything really eye or nose related
Eye
is gonna get
related.
me.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
laser eye surgery in Final
Final
Destination.
Destination 5. Yeah.
I hate it. I cringe. I
Yep.
can't watch it.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
totally agree with
so
that.
it's very few and far between. And the cheese grater in Evil Dead Rise, that makes me cringe.
I have only seen that in one other movie, and this time yesterday I would not have been able to say that. I saw that last night. The same cheese grater scene on Mouseboat Massacre.
Wow.
Steamboat Willie took a cheese grater to that dad's face. Why is that a sentence? That should not be a sentence, Sammy.
No, it shouldn't. You're right.
But yeah, I mean that's even more messed up than the strung out Tinkerbell. But don't we don't go there. But yeah, that is the only other time I've seen that, and it was last night when I watched. That was pretty much the only decent part of that. I mean, they even directly ripped off scenes from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the original movie. Like a direct rip off.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a couple getting busy in the woods. She's on top, gets stabbed, sprays all over him. It was a copy and paste, except with even worse actors. But yeah, the cheese grater scene turned up again last night, and I cringed. Cause
It is cringeworthy to watch it. It's
yeah.
just, yeah.
Eyeballs and noses are always going to get me. And I've watched a movie where it technically tracks here because the grandma was possessed, bites off her grandson's penis.
Okay.
It was called The Matriarch, or otherwise known as The Granny. It's one of the older 70s horrors that's got like 5 different names. I watched that and didn't flinch.
Oh, there's a bit in Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse where the granny bites the ass. There's that bit.
Yeah, so I can watch most things, but the cheese grater's going to get me every time. Both times. Because I've only seen it twice, and
it's a fantastic film.
Yeah, no, Evil Dead Rise was so good. It got slated, and I don't know why.
It's horror. It's gonna happen.
I know, but even hardcore horror fans and fanatics and influencers and they were slating it.
It's not Sam who did it. It's someone else who did it. And you know what horror people are like. If it's not the original guy,
yeah,
it's not me.
I get that, but I did genuinely enjoy it. Okay, I thought it was a bloody good movie.
I think it's really good, yeah.
It was a good transition movie because there were some funny moments in it. I don't think they were necessarily supposed to be funny, but I found them funny. So I think it's a good transition from the original 80s cheese fest to modern day horror. And it's a nice transition movie to bridge the gap between original Evil Dead and modern day Evil Dead. Obviously taking the remake with Mia out of the equation because it's not canon. It's a standalone and it is phenomenal, but it's not canon. So I think Evil Dead Rise is a good bridge movie between original and what's coming next, because we know it's gonna be good. It's gonna be gory. They've proven that they're not scared to go all out with the blood. We saw that at the end. They're not
Sam
afraid
Raimi's back for the film that comes out this year.
Yep, Sam Raimi's back. Bruce Campbell's got a say in it. We know they're not afraid to kill kids.
That comes out in July, actually.
Yeah, so we know It's gonna be good. It is gonna be gory. It is gonna be brutal. We've got the two main men back on the top running the show, and we now know that they're not. I mean, in the original, a woman gets sexually assaulted by a tree. So we know that Sam Raimi's not afraid to push boundaries. And kudos to the remake for keeping that in.
Yeah.
Because a lot of filmmakers would have removed that altogether, but they kept it in.
It's
And
a
that
great
is how.
franchise.
Yeah. So it is gonna be bloody good. And they're not
Literally.
afraid to kill kids. If that's an annoying kid, let's kill it off. Thank you. Thank you. Could the
Finally.
makers of the Babadook not have done that?
Oh my god, don't.
Or
God, I hated that film.
28 years later.
I like the kid in that.
If it wasn't for that kid, everybody would have lived.
I like the kid.
No. I don't like the kid. The
main
kid. The little boy. The one that went after the mum. The one that caused it all.
I like the kid. Yeah. He's a good actor. You gotta give him that.
I know, I'm not. In fact, 21 weeks later as well, they had an annoying kid.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, I didn't like the boy in that. The girl I don't mind. She was actually a good actress. She went.
Oh, no, I
she
didn't
did
mind
V
her.
Vendetta. Like, she's great.
Oh yeah, I
Hated
didn't
the
mind
boy.
her, but
I
the
hated
boy.
in this 28 weeks later.
I mean, everybody would have
I
loved
hated
if
the
it.
girl in 28 days later, actually.
Yeah. Kids in horror movies. At least the Evil Dead. No, at least now the Evil Dead have turned around and said, you know what, this kid is annoying me. We are going to kill this kid.
Yeah.
Thank you. No one ever kills kids. Even Freddy Krueger drew the line. It was all 18s.
It's good to see it.
I watched Peter Pan last night. He killed kids. Thank you. That kid's annoying. He's dead.
I think
Thank
we've
you.
just gotten to that point now where it's like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah,
We saw it early on. We've seen it here and there. We saw the dead baby in Dawn of the Dead. We saw the kid get shot in the face by Rick in The Walking Dead.
Yep.
We've seen it more and more now. I think
Yeah.
they're not scared to bridge the line.
Yeah, and I am appreciative of that, because if an adult annoys you, you kill it in a movie.
Go
Obviously, don't do it in real life.
Go-
But the kid always survived, no matter how annoying they are, unless it's Final Destination Bloodlines, in which case a piano lands in a little shit.
Deserved it.
Yes.
And
But
they weren't shy of showing you it either.
oh no, they showed that in its full glory.
As
Well, the
they
thing
bloody
wrong, it
well should.
wasn't in 3D. I would have loved to have seen that in 3D. Oh,
That would have been good in 3D.
yeah, that one would have been good. But anywho, so I'm liking that they're not skirting pushing boundaries anymore. So I really did like Evil Dead Rise. And as far as possession movies go, hell yeah. I mean, sexual assault by a tree branch aside, because that was how it was transmitted in the first place. Also, on another note, the real villain in those Evil Dead movies, original and remake, the friend that read the book.
This is true.
You find a book in a creepy cabin in the middle of the woods, made of skin, written in blood and bound in barbed wire. Why are you reading from that book?
I'm not gonna. Oh my good lord! There's a film called Ouija Shark. Sorry, I'm not gonna read that book.
No, why would you read that book? Didn't you watch The Mummy? Never read from the book. Don't read for the book.
Hate! Fucking dogs.
But yeah, that's the main villain in the movies. The friend that read from the goddamn motherfucking book.
Oh. we spoke of them earlier, the Warren family, and within that we get another franchise, which
Yep.
is Conjuring, which also gave us the Insidious films, the Nun. It's a massive franchise.
Oh God,
Um,
yeah.
I'm gonna
Um,
let you start
ag-
off talking about those. I just gotta let the dogs out, so I'll be back in
yeah,
a
no
sec.
worries. So we got the Warrens now. If you know the Warrens, you know they started out Amityville. They were called into that. They they are they were Vatican sanctioned paranormal investigators. And the movies, The Conjurings, are loosely based on. I say loosely. They are loosely based on their cases. Couldn't think of the word there. And you've got The Conjuring. You've got Annabelle, The Nun, The Curse of La Llorona, which a lot of people forget, but it is part of the Conjuring universe. You've got the Insidious movies, but the original Conjuring was scary as this mum was trying to kill her kids. Yep. If I see a rope swing from a dead tree, I'm going nowhere near it. But they also gave us the Enfield haunting, which was
They did.
here in the UK, and they gave us The Devil Made Me Do It, which was the kid, he was late teens, early 20s, butchered people because he was possessed. And they were brought in to prove or disprove. But the Warrens in The Conjuring, like I said, they gave us Annabelle, the creepy ass Raggedy Ann doll. They gave us The Nun, which sucked. I'm sorry, it did. I said it. I don't care. But it did bring the sisters together for the first time ever. So, props for that. But put them in the same universe. But it sucked. I'm sorry, The Nun. I haven't even watched The Nun 2 because The Nun was just so bad. Sorry, I've not been able to shift this cough in weeks. But yeah, the story of The Nun was good. The actual movie was bad. And obviously the Curse of La Llorona. Like I said, yeah, a lot of people seem to forget that that's part of the franchise because it's a standalone type. But it was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm not like massively into The Conjuring
I
as a
like the
franchise,
Conjurings. No, I like them.
but it gave us something because it gave us that based on a true story trope that we all know and love.
Yeah.
With a famous name that maybe a few. I mean, I hadn't particularly heard of them at the time. The family name.
I knew about them because obviously it's kind of. I'm a creepy person and I love stuff like that. So I did know
Um,
about them.
I learned a lot more about them because I think BBC did something, funnily enough, about the Enfield haunting. There was a whole program about
Yep.
it. And I actually learned more from that program than I did the films.
Yeah, the film. Yeah.
It's probably because it went more. It wasn't for drama. It was for more this is what happened.
Yeah, it was more documentary as opposed to dramatisation.
And it was dramatized because there were actors in it, but
Yeah,
I did prefer how they did it rather than the film.
yeah.
It's silly.
Yeah, the film was all high budget. If it was released on Facebook or TikTok, it would have been for likes.
Yeah, it wasn't
Whereas
great.
the BBC one was more for information.
Yeah,
And
which it was
I
very
appreciated
interesting.
that. But
Um, but it is a huge franchise, and the offsets that it made, like I said, The Nun was an offset of The Conjuring.
yeah.
Insidious was an offset of The Conjuring, and in itself, that bred Sinister. So there's a huge like universe that's
Yeah.
connected to the Conjuring films.
It's like the Conjuring movie, t- the way I think of them is they are the horrors version in Marvel.
Yeah, it is a huge universe when you
Yeah,
actually like look into it. There's a lot of films all related to each other.
yep. And obviously, like I said, the Casa La Lorena, it's not part of the canon, so to speak, but it is part of the Conjuring multiverse, and it is actually really bloody good. And again, it's about Lilith and her sisters.
Interesting.
And how
Um,
it's about the obviously we know the story of Lilith, the mother of demons, the first wife of Adam, who was thrown out of Eden for not being submissive to Adam. She was not made from a rib of Adam. She was her own separate entity, and that's why she would not conform, and was thrown out of Eden and became the mother of demons. Well, in Jewish culture, it goes further. She's more than just the mother of demons. She is the taker of children's souls. So when a child passes, they go to Lilith. And there's three sisters, and Lilith's a nice one, let's just say. But one of Lilith's sisters wants to take the children to Lilith, for lack of a better term, because I don't want to just come out and say it. So yeah, but it's really good, and I really enjoyed it.
really for me. There's another film. Well, I think there was two of them. Let me just double check because I'm not 100% if there was two of them or if there was more. I think there was two of them officially. At least films that I have watched, but the Ouija films. I really like Origin of Evil.
Oh,
That's
Origin of Evil was
that's a great
fantastic.
film.
And you're the only other person I know that's even heard of that movie.
I love that film.
I know, right?
It's really good.
Yeah.
There's very few films that I have on DVD other than my zombie films that I have on DVD. And even then, I got rid of a lot of DVDs.
Oh,
Um,
give me 2 seconds.
but I think Origin of Evil is definitely worth the watch. Um, Mike Flanagan, obviously the director, he does quite a lot of supernatural stuff. Um, Mentioned before, Haunting on Hell House, Haunting of Hell House, or whatever it's bloody called, I don't know. So quote me, I don't remember things. Um, yeah, there's two films officially. Within these two. So An Origin of Evil is a better one, in my opinion.
Sorry about that. No, I totally agree. Origin of Evil is absolutely fantastic. But it's one of those that unless you're part of the community, you're not going to have heard of it.
You should, because it's great.
But even if you're part of the community, there is going to be movies out there that we haven't heard of. I mean, up until 3 nights ago, I didn't know there was a horror version of Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Blood and Porridge. There's also a Humpty Dumpty horror movie. Can you tell what I've been watching lately at night?
The original Disney's.
Yeah.
That would actually be a really interesting take for them to make films based upon the original writings.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, the original Grimm's fairy tales. We've had. Oh, there's also an Alice in Wonderland horror as well that's on my list. But the original Grimm's fairy tales, I mean, the likes of Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Rapunzel. God, I mean, they are so dark. And if we could get that on the silver screen, done properly.
Done properly would be brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of I've found going down this rabbit hole, pun intended, of random childhood cartoons made into horrors, as a lot of them are British made. The acting in a lot of them is, it's not even subpar, it's bad. Kills, they've been ripped off, but the premise is there. And as Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey proved, and Peter Pan to an extent actually, because I enjoyed that one. I'm going to give that a solid 6 out of 10. If done right, they could be great. So imagine what they could do with Grimm's.
Yeah, it would be really, really good.
Well,
They did kind of have a grim film. I think Heath Ledger was in it.
yeah,
If I'm correct.
they had the Grimm's brothers. It was the story about them writing the books.
Yeah, it kind of
Um,
gives you that backstory about the Grimm brothers, but
yeah,
it didn't give you so much the story. There was a couple of bits in it
yeah. But
that
I
were
would,
reminiscent.
I would love to see that getting made, because obviously they get turned into Disney all the time, and no, back to the source material for that, please. I would love to see The Little Mermaid the way it was originally written.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've said before, some of the Disney films are genuinely terrifying.
Oh God, yeah! Don't even get me started in Bedknobs and Broomsticks and Chitty Chitty Bang
But
Bang.
there's like really scary moments in those films, even the modern ones.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, some of the Disney films traumatize kids. Lion King
Lion
and
King.
Bambi.
I love how we just
But that's
both
for different reasons.
automatically.
In The Lion King, when we went to Alton Towers last year, what song did I play from The Lion King?
Oh yeah, you did, and I can't think of the name of it.
Be
Oh,
Prepared,
be prepared.
which has the like Nazi connotations behind
Yeah,
it.
because you know Walt Disney was not a Jew sympathiser.
Nope. Hung out with the man himself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think eventually we'll have to rewatch the Disney films, but in particular the ones that we know are based upon, Yes, I don't really want to watch Cinderella. I know what happens in Cinderella and what happens in Sleeping Beauty, but watching some of the Disney films wouldn't be a bad idea, to be fair.
Yeah. I want to see if I can track down a copy of the Grimm's fairy tales. I
Of
want the
what?
original. I want copies of the original Grimm's books.
I did have them, but they're
I
probably long
had
gone.
them, and I've always been a bit of a morbid child. Right now, if you know me, you know I love two things Disney and two things only. I love Beauty and the Beast.
Same. That's my favourite.
It is my favourite. It was my go-to as a little girl, and if me and Minnie are
Same.
having a movie night, we will watch the live action. That is our go-to. I also love The Little Mermaid. I don't know why, I've just always loved The Little Mermaid. But I've always been a rather morbid person, even as a child.
Me
And
too.
my grandfather, my mother's father, picked up on this quite early on because apparently my mother was the same. Go figure. And he got me the original Grimm's books. And he and each one was like he had put a dedication. He'd like in his a beautiful cursive handwriting, and in every in the inside front cover and everyone he'd written something. And I have no idea
It's the
whatever
things
happened
that
to
we
them.
lose when we move house
It
as many
actually,
times as we have.
no, what happened was when Bob and Minnie were younger, I I had to leave my house in a hurry, and I left the stuff that I couldn't take with me in the care of a family friend, and they moved out of the house they were in because it was earmarked for demolition, and it was a giant plastic tub with all my books, including all my Stephen King books, but also those personalised books from my grandfather, were in the tub, and they didn't get it out of the house, and the house was set on fire before it was demolished.
These things can only happen to us.
I know, but yes, I bet they had a couple of weeks left to get the house emptied, and they were working on it, but they couldn't afford to hire a van. So we were waiting till I get paid so that I could hire the van for them because a lot of it was my stuff. And the youths robbed all the copper and set fire to the house. Luckily, it was like a semi-detached. Both houses were empty. They were both vacant, and there were no houses behind or beside because they'd already been demolished. So no one was hurt, but a lot of stuff was lost, including my box of books that were all sentimental. And the other thing that I thought for almost a decade had been lost was a blanket that my kids both come home from the hospital in, that my grandmother had made, and I thought that was lost in the fire as well. But I found it accidentally a decade later. Walked into my mum's house and she's sitting with it over her knee.
That's weird.
Yep, so I got it back. I let her keep it until she passed away and then I got it back. But yeah, it just randomly appeared. So I'd left it at her bit and hadn't even realised.
It is weird.
But yeah, I thought it had been long gone as well. But yeah, I lost all my books, so I'm trying to get my book collection back. I want my Stephen King's back, and I'm gonna get those Ice Nine Kills books because that's just got to be added to the collection. But I do want my Grimm's books back. And Hound of the Baskervilles. I need to get a copy of that. I love that book. But I had 3 copies of the complete works of Shakespeare.
Yeah, I had quite a lot as well.
I got one. I won a competition in high school. Well, when I was at high school, it was the local library for reading. I always read. I've come from a big family of readers. Books are kind of a thing. So I won a copy of that. I was gifted a copy, again from my grandfather. And then I ended up with a third copy. A friend gave me it. It had a different cover to the other two, so he gave me it. And I might have one copy left.
Mhm.
And my original Winnie the Pooh book for when the kids were babies. Because I used to read them
I had one of those.
a chapter a night.
I think somewhere at my mum's house I've got. She had this old book of Aesop's fables, and in the book she'd written down baby names from when she was pregnant with me. So there's loads of like girl names in the book. I remember looking at it like
I
all
want
the
a
names
copy
that
of
were there.
Aesop's Fables as well.
I wonder if she's still got it. I'll have to ring her and see if she's still got it.
Mm.
Right, but that leads us to next week. So next week is the week before horror. So the rules were the week before horror. What are we doing?
Vampires.
Vampires, indeed. So we're going to be talking all things vampires. So expect to hear a lot about the works of Anne Rice and a lot about Bram Stoker's Dracula, obviously.
And we've got to do Blade because we've got some of the
And we have to
cast.
do Blade.
We've got some of the cast there, and we've
some of the
got.
cast.
I
And we've
still
got the
need to get a white
Blu-ray.
dress. Oh, I need to get a white, like a white.
I need to try mine off. I've got teeth, by the way, so you don't need to get those.
I can't wear them anyway.
Well, at least I had the thought.
I appreciate that, but I genuinely can't wear them because of my top plate. But no, I need to get like a white summer dress.
I just got a cheap one off Amazon. I'll send you the link to the one I got.
Please, I'll
but
just
yeah,
get it delivered to
vampires.
yours. Yes.
So, I mean, I want to say this is more your thing, but it's not really. I grew up watching vampire films.
Yeah,
I
it's
always preferred zombies. Zombies were my thing.
yeah. Whereas I grew up with both, but I personally prefer the romanticised side of the vampire genre and the gory version. Okay, I'm a gore whore. I've never denied it. But we have got, and I watched the video of him earlier, and he's so excited because he hardly ever does cons, and he's coming over next. In 2 weeks' time, he's coming over, Mr. Stephen Dorff from Blade. And we've got Donald Logan as well
Also,
from Blade. And also from the TV show Gotham.
That's how I recognised him.
Yeah.
From Gotham.
I knew him straight away from both. I do love Gotham. I did like Batman before he brought trauma.
Listen, right, we're a horror-based podcast, but we do have other interests. And
Yeah,
I
we are
wouldn't
geeks.
be
We are quite
opposed
geeky.
to doing a Batman episode.
To
I
be
love
fair,
Batman.
not just Batman, but DC in general is quite dark.
DC is darker than Marvel, 100%.
Oh yeah, Marvel's for kids. DC's for adults. With generational trauma.
Yeah.
People
so
die.
expect it all to come.
Okay? Marvel heroes don't kill people. DC heroes kill people.
You do.
Superman never killed a person. That's not true. Frank Castle, the Punisher, he killed a lot of people.
Punisher killed a lot of people.
He killed a lot of people. But he's an anti-hero. Deadpool killed a lot of people. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But DC heroes kill people. And the bad guys are so much better. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, next week, vampires.
Yep.
The history of vampires, I already know quite a lot about.
I know about I actually just learned this about, I'm not going to spoil it, but 'cause I'm going to leave it for next week, but the very first vampire story.
Very first, not just very first film, by the way. It was a horror film. And it was a vampire film.
But I know
One of
the very first.
full length.
I know who the first vampire was reportedly.
Well,
And it
August
was
of Mo-
before Dracula. And it was
August
before Vlad the Impaler.
next week.
Yeah.
We get
I
to talk about
actually
it.
just learned this 2 days ago and I was so excited. And
Excuse
I'm
me.
gonna research it some more for next week because it's such a cool story, and it's UK and Ireland. So yay!
So next week we'll be doing vampires because it is the week before horror, and that was the rules.
Yep.
The week of horror is looking likely I'll be doing something on my own, so I'll decide what I'm gonna do
Because I'll be travelling.
because you'll be travelling. And
If
then
I manage to get up the road pretty sharp, I will join in. But I will be travelling on the Sunday because I've got and of course I'll need to get the coach up, so it'll take longer because the fire at Glasgow Central. Oh my god! But because obviously I can only travel up on the Sunday because I've got the concert on the Monday. So if I'm back in time, I'm going to aim to be back in time. But if not, at
I'll
at
figure something
most,
out.
yeah, we'll figure something out, and if needed, I can jump in late. I can be like half an hour late or whatever, travel time permitting.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna do vampires. And yeah, is there anything that you'd like to add? It's been a bloody long one, actually. I just
It
noticed.
has been a long one, but it's because there are so many ghosts and possession movies out there. To be fair, we need more witch movies, people.
We do need more
If
witch
you're an
movies, I
aspiring
agree.
filmmaker and you're watching this later on YouTube, please do your research. A lot of Scottish witches as well. Just saying. I know, I have a book. It was gifted to me after the fire, so I still have it in the cupboard somewhere. In fact, it was a wedding gift.
Oh.
I'm odd,
One of so
okay?
many marriages.
The last one, the Halloween one.
Yeah.
No, the one before it. The Friday the 13th one.
So help me God.
No, it was the one before it. It was about Celtic witches. It was the one before it because I got married on Friday the 13th.
Do it again, watch it. Go on. That's what I thought.
But yeah. So if you're an aspiring filmmaker watching this later on YouTube, please, witch movies.
Yeah, I don't even care what type of witches. Just
No.
make it. Don't you dare!
Don't make it a kids movie, make it an
Make it-
actual legit scary horror witch movie. Please and thank you.
Please and thank you.
I mean, I can write and I could probably come up with a pretty decent story, but I suck at all the other stuff, okay? Like, so, yeah. Even if you want to do a collab, we can do that. Please get us a decent
Always
witch
down
movie.
for collabs.
Yeah, always down for a collab, okay?
So I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try and watch some vampire films this week. I already know which one I'm going to watch. There's no point kidding myself. The number one vampire film ever made, in my opinion. To say
And
otherwise,
have you?
it's no,
No?
good film. We'll go into it more. Great film, but not the best one. You know it's not the best one.
I know it's not.
You know within your heart of hearts
You're gonna
which
rewatch
vampire
Queen.
film I'm talking about.
You're gonna rewatch Queen.
I'm gonna have to. Aren't
Yeah. I actually rewatched that.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to rewatch the biggest advertisement for new metal.
Yes, so much corn.
Oh no, what a shame.
That's terrible when that happens. I'm gonna rewatch The Blades. I haven't seen them in a while. I really enjoy them.
I watched
And
Blade
you know I'm gonna need to talk about Vampire Diaries and Originals next week. Okay.
Okay, well
you know
I've
it's
never
coming.
watched any of them, but I'll let you.
I have.
let
That
you
was
deal
like
with that.
mine and Minnie's thing. We are not talking about Twilight.
I'm sorry, but it is technically
Okay,
child-friendly vampire film.
let me
franchise.
rephrase this. I will not be watching the Twilight movies.
No, last time I watched them, I was really really high. And it turns out when you watch these films when you're under the influence, they're actually like worse
I,
than what
I can
you could
imagine.
possibly imagine. Yeah.
I watched the
So,
original movie because I thought, oh, vampire movie, gotta watch this when it first came out. Vampires don't drive Volvos and sparkle like diamonds in the sun.
yeah, but
No,
unfortunately, it is a big franchise.
I know,
So, sorry.
I know. I just,
Whether we
I,
like it or not.
I know. I just don't have it in me to sit and
I am
watch
not gonna
them.
watch. I'm not doing it. I'm not watching it. I've seen that baby in the last film, and that baby's terrifying.
I know. Could they
Baby's
not just have got a
scarier.
baby?
They literally could have got a baby. They could have got a baby, but no, they yassified the baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, stop talking about it. We can
Yeah.
talk about it next week.
Yes, we
Um,
can.
so next week, same bat time, same bat channel. You know where we are, and it'll be about vampires.
Yep. And again,
So
if you're
until
watching on
then,
YouTube, hit the subscribe, ring the bell. Please, if you feel confident, share away.
yes. But until then, au revoir.
Bye bye now.